Energize. Welcome home, Captain.
Thanks, Bill. I swear, every stinking time I get shore leave. So what's this all about? And why did you...
Sorry, Captain. Palmer, that will be all. As to your first point, Commodore Walker will explain that to you personally now that you're back on board. Of course, we tried contacting you, but apparently your communicator was lost or damaged.
Oh! Yeah. Get that fixed for me, will you? And let Commodore Walker know I'm back on board and I'll be ready in 15. I have got to get a shower.
Aye, sir.
Go ahead.
Captain, I have Commodore Walker for you. Seems urgent.
On screen, Lieutenant. Captain Harper here, as required, Commodore.
Sorry, Tim. Duty calls.
It goes with the territory, sir. What's up?
There's a pressing situation on the Space Lab, Pavona 3. Heard of it?
Pavona 3? I don't think so. Should I have?
Not really. But now I wish I hadn't. Here's what you need to know. 1. It's an orbital space lab. They have lost all life support. So we have to get replacement equipment out there. 2. Admiral Alwan's daughter and grandson are there. So you know what that means. Lastly, 3. You'll have to skirt restricted space to get there as quickly as possible.
Restricted how?
The Starship Endeavour had a run-in with an early warp civilization known as the Odobinos. There nearly 20 years ago. No one got hurt, but they made it very clear to Captain Houston they don't trust anyone. They want to be left alone. There is a treaty with all the details that I am attaching to this communication stream.
No word since?
Not officially. We hear that they're growing more concerned about the Klingons than the Federation, so there might be an opening. Look, we don't think they'll be much of a military ally, but we hear they might have the lithium to trade. So get the equipment delivered quickly. But don't create an incident that will close the door on future cooperation. Got it?
Yes, sir. When will the equipment be loaded?
Already done. While you were planetside, Tristan already met up with Deimos and transferred the equipment, along with some redundant units. That should get them set for at least a decade. Lieutenant Commander Zikara has all the details. As you know, I hate to waste time.
Understood. We'll be en route as soon as I confirm all personnel will return to ship.
Thanks, Tim. I knew that I could count on you. We will crack that bottle of vintage Kentucky bourbon that you gave me when you get back. That's the least I can do.
Sounds simple enough. Which means it won't be. Lieutenant Taylor, set course for Space Lab Pavona 3, and be sure to keep us well outside the Odobinos restricted zone. Miss Tanis, warp factor 8.
Aye, aye, Captain.
We're not showing the boundaries of any zone, Captain.
You'll need to secure the Odobinos Accord from Mr. Warren and update the ship's star catalog to show the new exclusion zone.
Aye, sir. Done. Plotting course of 132 Mark 568. We'll stay clear and reach the science station without undue delay.
Sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen. ready. Commander Zikara?
Captain, Lieutenant Mora and I have inspected the life support equipment for the science station, and it's not in good shape.
It's nowhere near ready to actually install.
All of that was supposed to be brand new. Did somebody pull a switch?
No, sir. Technically, it is still mint in box, but apparently it has been in storage for over 4 decades. I'm concerned that it may not even be compatible with the station's power supply and EPS conduit systems.
We can make it work, but we need to pull it apart and overhaul it before we arrive so we can install it right away.
Good catch. Have your people work on it around the clock. I want that equipment updated and ready to go by the moment we arrive.
Yes, sir. My thoughts exactly.
All off-duty engineering team members have been volunteered, and they are working on it as we speak.
Have been volunteered.
I believe I made myself clear, Captain. I even put your command trainee on supervising the engineers and technicians.
Indeed. Carry on.
Captain, Mr. Shepard, Calhoun, and I have been reading the treaty agreement with Odobinos.
It is, well, let's say a little unusual.
How so?
Well, for example, if we ever come face to face with them in any sort of confrontation, raising shields or charging weapons is considered an act of war.
Based on their technology assessment from 20 years ago, it shouldn't be a problem. But still.
That is unusual. We probably won't see them anyway, but just to play it safe, I want a full sensor scan into the restricted area to make sure we aren't surprised.
And that's another thing. Active sensor sweeps are prohibited too. Although, as I read it, as not exactly an act of war. But I think that Odobinos could consider it an act of war if they were so inclined.
You are ever the optimist, Commander.
Someone has to be.
Okay, well, then let's use sensors in passive mode to see what we can see without stirring the pot. Mr. Warren, monitor all subspace communications from the system as well.
Aye, sir. I haven't heard anything on standard channels, but I'll.
Captain, collision alert.
Dead ahead!
Impact imminent.
Security, damage report. Tactical, what was that?
I can't be positive, but I think we struck some sort of gravitic space mine. Without active sensors, there's not much to go on. By the time passive sensors picked it up, it had already fired its rockets to intercept and collide with us.
Helm, full stop. Communications, Hell Starbase 211.
All decks reporting damage, Captain. Casualties are light.
We're stopped. We're dead in the water. Neither Helm nor engines are responding.
I with your permission, Captain, I'd like to try and go down to auxiliary control and see what I can do from there.
Very well. Mr. Warren, did you get that message out?
Yes, sir. No reply was given.
Sick bay to bridge.
Harper here.
Captain, we have quite a few injuries coming in. Mostly banged up from the sudden stop. No reports of any fatalities yet, for which we're all grateful. Most of our equipment is down. The power keeps going on and off.
Thanks, Doc. Commander Zikara and Lieutenant Mora are working on it. Keep us posted. Bridge out. Continue.
Looks like we hit something rather substantial. The collision took out EPS conduits 1 and 2 entirely.
Are you okay?
Yes, I just hit my face on the console.
Structural integrity on Deck 6 is highly suspect. We're seeing a drop in atmosphere there, so we're venting somewhere.
Bridge is Security Chief Shepard.
Aye, Shepard here, Captain.
I need you and your teams to see that Deck 6 is evacuated.
Already on it, sir.
Kane, if it becomes necessary,
I
seal it off.
understand, sir. I'll let you know what we find out. Shepard out.
Continue.
The main reactor shut down when all that power had nowhere to go. Warp and impulse engines are offline as well.
We're working to reset EPS relays in Conduit 3 so we can route emergency power and get life support back online.
Any estimates when or if Life support will be back online?
Life support should be back in the next few minutes, assuming there is no further damage and the EPS relays reset properly.
I've also got a team working on getting ready to restart the main fusion reactor. Once we get that going, we will be a bit more stable.
What about Deck 6?
Teams are on the way there with portable force fields to reinforce it and seal off any leaks.
We're being held on screen, Lieutenant. I'd like to see who I'm dealing with eye to eye.
Unidentified spacecraft. This is Captain Rosmar of the Odobinos Diarchy. You have violated the exclusion zone. You must leave immediately or we will be forced to take action.
Captain, we most certainly did not violate the exclusion zone. We took every precaution to stay well clear. We are on a vital
most
mission.
Certainly did violate the exclusion zone. The Odobinos Accords require all alien vessels to stay at least 1 parsec away from our home world. You are now 0.998 parsecs away.
That is not how the exclusion zone is defined. It is a 2-parsec sphere around Atem Pavonis.
Correct, Captain. That is how it's defined in Section 23 of the Accords.
Okay, then I don't see the issue with our presence here.
Section 24 adds the restriction on approaching our Oort cloud.
Captain, he might have a point. Their Oort cloud has slowly drifted toward a passing rogue star. In 20 years, it has moved 8.6 million kilometers, which means we have violated their zone of exclusion.
Captain, some power systems are back on, but much of our life support equipment was damaged by the power surge.
We've got survey teams down there now. It doesn't look good.
Captain, how dare you ignore me? Get that ship of yours out of here now!
Close channel. Zikara, how long do we have?
A couple of hours at the most. The main reactor is warming up nicely. Maybe half an hour?
Not that it matters if we can't breathe.
Any chance you could use the equipment we have on board for Pavona 3?
Possibly. That's an idea. I'll get some folks on hooking up the new stuff. It's not readily compatible to our systems, but I'm most concerned about the rising CO2 levels. I'll put Solari on it.
Captain, when power came back, I was able to sneak in 1 sensor suite. They have a large cruiser with 4 small attack craft. 2 of them are on an intercept course. They're way too small and fragile to do much damage. It makes no sense.
Mr. Calhoun, status of shields and phasers.
They show online, but only at 50% power.
Captain, using either would likely overload the single remaining EPS, and it will get really cold and really quick.
I like it cold.
Sir, I've routed the Helm through auxiliary control.
Good work, Janice.
Captain, I've been reviewing what little we know about Odobinos, but I think they're trying to engage us in the old Terran game of playing chicken, hoping to intimidate us into raising shields or charging phasers, an act of war in their view. Then we'd really be...
Got it. Time to impact.
First 2 are veering off now. Wait. The other 2 attack ships are inbound now. ETA 20 seconds.
Zikara, I need those impulse engines. Tanis, ideas.
Firing maneuvering thrusters, sir.
Good thinking. Zikara?
Sorry, Captain. When I say 25 minutes...
Damn it! This ship needs to move!
The other 2 attack craft are very, very close.
Captain, they veered off, and at the last second.
I have an idea. Do you think you can get that big bad cruiser to do the same stunt as the little ones?
Why? Oh. Wait. I get it. Lieutenant, open channel.
Channel is open.
You dare to cut me off? I ought to.
What's the meaning of sending those puny escape pods to buzz us? Are those tiny little tin birds supposed to scare us?
I'm warning you. If you don't leave in the next 5 minutes, we will board your ship and take you back to the homeworld for trial and execution. And not just you, but you and your entire crew.
We will leave just as soon as we can, but you shouldn't be making threats you can't back up. Even that trash heap you're in command of is nothing more than a garbage scow in the Federation.
Captain, he's cut the channel.
Oh, hell. Big Boy is headed for us now, along with the first 2 scouts. I hope he is planning to veer off.
Zikara, route all the power you can spare to the tractor beam.
Aye, Captain. I'm ready. I can give you about 62%.
Captain, the tractor beam can either push or pull on the alien craft, but we won't be able to hold our position. Remember Newtonian physics.
Thanks to Commander Zikara, that is exactly what we're planning. It's going to be more than a little tricky. In case Captain Rosmar has completely lost his mind, which I'm sure he has, we're going to use just enough tractor beam to push us apart to make sure we don't collide.
Here he comes.
And he looks pissed off.
Andre, set tractor beam to 20%, and on my mark, give him just a little push. And now.
Engaging tractor beam.
Beam has made contact. Our relative position is changing.
Moving, Captain.
Andre, now I want full power to the tractor beam and pull him hard as he passes. Ready? Now.
It's working, Captain. We're accelerating.
Okay, everybody, hang on. Andre, as he turns back to his side, I want you to cut the tractor beam.
Aye, sir.
Tanis, keep those beam emitters facing the big boy.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, 2 of the scout ships appear to have collided. One seems operational, but the other is damaged and is venting atmosphere.
Bridge to transporter room 1.
Palmer here.
Chief, I want you to lock on and beam any life form from the damaged scout ship on board.
You got it, Captain.
Bridge to sick bay.
Sick bay here.
Dr. Patrick, I want you and the medical team to get to transporter room 1 and meet any guests and check for injuries.
Got her, sir. Other than a bit shocked, she seems okay. Medical is here now.
You'll be fine, ma'am. Just take it easy.
Great work, everyone. I want that pilot on the bridge as soon as they're able. Mr. Tathaan, what's our status relative to Federation space?
I estimate we'll be out of their space in about 3 hours.
Good news, Captain. We found a bunch of lithium hydroxide and the other stuff headed for the science colony. Solari added it to our air filters to absorb some of the carbon dioxide. Says it's a trick from an old Earth Apollo moon mission.
Lieutenant Solari has also gotten the science station life support equipment working at 18%. Enough to keep us alive for a few days while we make repairs.
Best news I've had today. But I thought their equipment wasn't compatible with our power systems.
Oh, they're not. But they are compatible with the shuttlecraft. So we wired them together temporarily.
Captain, Starfleet has acknowledged our distress call. The starship Caliborn will arrive in about 14 minutes to render assistance if need be.
Not necessary, but it'll be nice to have a backup just in case.
Captain, Rosmar is back on the channel.
On screen, Lieutenant.
Captain, what have you done? My cruiser felt like it hit a small asteroid, and you destroyed one of my scout ships. My daughter is dead.
You insisted we move, so we did what we deemed necessary to do so. On the bright side, We were able to beam your daughter over just before her scout ship imploded after colliding with your other scout ship.
You have my daughter? See, I knew you were no better than the Klingons. I suppose you're going to hold her hostage until...
Captain, we rescued your daughter, and she seems fine. As soon as our ship's doctor checks her out, she will join us here on the bridge.
So you can put a weapon to her head and make your demands like the Klingons?
Hardly. Starfleet and the Federation do not take hostages. No demands. You may send a scout shuttle over at your convenience, or we can beam her over as soon as it is safe to do so.
I don't know what to say.
You're lucky there was a Federation ship that your mind hit. Anyone else, then your entire planet would be at war now.
Yes, I told Father we didn't need the mines this far out. Only sensors, but he's very stubborn.
I understand. The Federation has a few leaders with strong wills and narrow minds.
Is your captain one of them?
No. He's different. He strongly believes in diplomacy and peace whenever possible. I think you'll like him.
Well, he could have let me die, but he didn't.
Exactly.
How about thank you? Perhaps in hostilities against this vessel?
Marus, are you unharmed?
Completely, Father. You should see this ship. It's so miraculous. And the people on board, they're so different from us, even from each other. Kind, Father. They're so kind.
We appear to have misjudged you, Captain.
Look, I know we failed to properly identify the new coordinates to the restricted zone. Our mistake. Mea culpa. But dropping gravitic mines in this area space is totally irresponsible and completely unacceptable. You could have started a war with not just the Klingons, but the Orions, the Gorn, the Romulans, the Tholians, hell, even Zit. Is that something your homeworld can afford to do?
Perhaps, after I file my report, our diplomats might have more to discuss than has been previously considered. We just wanted to be left alone. That may have been a lack of foresight on our part. Thank you, Captain. I'd like to take my daughter home.
Mr. Calhoun, you have the con.
Aye, Captain.
Personal log supplemental. It has been 13 hours since our engagement with the Odobinos. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured, and the damage to Deck 6 was far less serious than we first thought. After making repairs with materiel and assistance from the engineering crew of the Caliborn, we are resuming our course for Space Lab, Pavona 3. Hopefully, the Odobinos people will see us in a new light and begin a new friendship. Perhaps it's time for their isolationism to end.
Tell Zikara to get me a better monitor next time we put in for repair.